Hmm. Hey, there we go. How do I share? Oh, here we go. How do I... Uh, there we go. Alright. Now... Aha! I think it's working. Ah! Let's clean this up. Hold on a second. Using a stream bitrate of 4,500. Alright, so let's check out some silver. Clean this up and always start over from scratch. That might be fun. Alright. So this is live silver spot price trading after hours. Just so everyone knows what I'm looking at here. Obviously I love silver and I'm heavy in silver right now, so let's go through silver and the dollar first. If you guys have any questions, just type them out and we'll try to look at some charts together and have some fun. So looking at silver right now, you can see this giant wedge right here. It's looking pretty awesome. We kind of have this channel going up right here with the false breakout right here. So I have this buy line up here. That would be awesome if we could get back up here this week. And you can see these are almost identical. We can actually test that by cloning this line and then just bringing it down here. It's close. It's not quite there though. Actually, let's do that. Now you have a channel that's, you can see bunch of support lines here with a couple of breakdowns. Let's see if it goes down here. I don't love that. I like this better. Leave that there for now. I'm not worried about it getting down there right now anyways, but so that's silver right now, and then we'll go into Dixie here. So see what's doing on the 1 minute. Must enhance. So we see here it broke the uptrend, and you got some support right here that it broke through. So we're seeing kind of a up and down here, which I thought we would do tonight because we're not going to get a lot of data till overnight and in the morning. So let me see. Are you guys typing anything? Can you guys type something and see if I can? Oh shit, okay, I see it. I was like, why can I not see the chat? I'm still getting used to this streaming thing, so Palladium? Let's look at that. I actually love Palladium. So Palladium, holy cow, look at that. That looks amazing. Oh. Palladium sucks because I wish I could play Palladium, but you can't play it because the OI and options is just so low that it's hard to get filled, and that's why like if I could play Palladium and Platinum, I would with options. You really only can do it with shares. Here, check this out. Look at this flag. That's just like textbook right there. So this would be your buy line. This would be your sell line. We can watch this. This is going to break out soon. We can actually see this live, what it's going to do. This is why I like doing this at night, because you could practice your charting on commodities and futures at night. It's pretty fun. Let's zoom out and see what Palladium's been doing. You know, all the commodities kind of follow each other. That's one of the nice thing about them. So you can kind of see here. Here's Palladium. This is when silver ran up, and then you had that giant silver sell-off. That's exactly what happened to Palladium too, and then we've kind of been building this flag right here. And if you look at silver, silver's been doing similar stuff. So silver has a stronger uptrend. It doesn't quite have the straight pennant that Palladium had. But you know, one thing you should look at if you like Palladium is sugar. Sugar tends to lag. Sugar tends to lag all the metals. So a lot of times what happens is when you get inflation, commodities tend to go up, and sugar would be a good one you could play some shares on with some high upside, and cane is the ticker for that. So why are these all? This is one thing I don't love about all these things. They don't stay sometimes where I put them. So you can see here I have, oh, look at that mountain. So you got a pennant right here. You could put a buy line right here. This is what I like to do. I don't try to complicate it. I find my pennants, I find my flags, put my buy lines, so if it breaks out above here, you buy right here. If it breaks down here, you just leave it alone and look for your next play. So these are all things that, like, Palladium and sugar suck for options, so it's something that you just put shares in, put it in your long-term portfolio, because here, check this out. If we go to the hour, you could see here, this is back when silver and gold spiked, so all commodities spiked together. It looks like Kane's it came into existence back here, so it doesn't have the history. It's just an ETF, the sugar fund, Kane. There's other sugar funds and stocks that you could trade too, so keep that in mind. But you can see, you know, we had a breakout right here recently, and then why is this line here? I think that's weird. Either way, so we can see here we had a breakout of here, so the next thing we're looking at is probably to see what's going on here. But as soon as it starts going up again, it could go all the way back up. If we hit the same run we had with sugar or with silver and gold back in 2011 through 13, you could definitely see, just with shares, I mean, $6 turning into 26, that's a 500% return. So put it, you know, get a couple hundred shares and sell some covered calls every week to make some money, and if it hits your buy line, you know, take the premium and buy back in. Let's see if the dollar. This is one thing that was scaring me about the dollar recently. I think we're going to get a lot of data, so it's going to. I mean, if the trend holds, it's going to go down. You could see that. So if we zoom in, though, you could see it's really testing. It's really testing it a lot tonight. So it had a little breakout here, but that could be just because I'm using a 1 minute. If we went to 5 minute, looks a little bit better. So we have a triple top here, and it's still breaking. You know, it's right here. It's this dotted line right here. So it's breaking down right here. You guys got any tickers you want me to look at, or you just want me to talk about sugar and gold and palladium all night? Could look at platinum. Platinum's fun. Neo. The platinum's one of those ones. If you go to like the hour, you can see it's making a flag too. Okay. You guys got a lot of them. I'm just gonna go with Neo. That was the first one said. I just like metals because I don't know. It's something that a lot of people don't play, and I like to be different, I guess. Oh, look at that nice little cup. We got some. Look at the flag here. Let's zoom in on this. And it's due for a bull run. I mean, they're on a bull run. You got inflation. That metals are a great thing to play when you have inflation, and we have all the pumping that is going on with the Fed. So I believe it is time for metals to shine. Love that. Let's zoom in on this. So you can see here, we look at this volume here. It keeps going down. I mean, I'm not loving the volume on Neo recently, but it is forming a nice little pattern here. It is definitely time for metals to shine. So what you're looking for is just something on the bottom here that can connect these. I mean, you can see here, look at this. So let's review this. So you had what appeared to be, like, if you were to, I was talking about this in one of my videos today. Someone said, you know, what happens if you're in a flag or a pennant and it doesn't break out? Well, first of all, you should never buy in here. You should always buy here or here. So this actually looks like a bull flag or a bull pennant. So you would have had a sell line here, or you could call it a put line if you want to buy puts if it breaks out here. So what would happen is if this broke down here, you would have bought a put right here, and you would have made a lot of money. But if you're looking at this, you're thinking, oh, that's the flagpole. This is the pennant. You know, that's going to break out. So you're buying here, and then you're going to lose because then you're going to have to have your stop loss right here. Always wait for confirmation above. So calls above, puts below. And you can see same thing happen right here. This is why you always wait for confirmation. So this is some back testing you can do on Neo. I actually love that you point this out because it's good for you guys to know this. So, you know, you're seeing a huge flagpole here, and you're thinking, I have a bull pennant right here, so I'm going to buy some calls right here, thinking it's going to go back up. But you didn't wait for confirmation, and then boom, you just lost a ton of money. So let's look at another one. Yeah, if this breaks above here, you potentially see Neo go up here. You had the split news here, and that's why it went really far down. So now that you have, or not the split news, the share offering. So you had your share offering sell off, and now people are starting to buy back in. I'll do aluminum for you, and we'll look at lumber liquidators here in a second too. And we can look at BAC and price targets. Yeah, give me a second on that. Whoa! Oh, okay then. That's this nice sell-off. Earnings? Yep, earnings. Okay. So we're gotten a buy line here. Looks like you would have had a nice buy line there and gotten in. And you would have had let's look at a support line, probably right here. Just trying to connect as many data points as you can. So you have a channel break here. This actually could be a nice runner. I don't know much about this. This is on one of my watch lists. I just don't play it very often. I think it's because it's a low liquidity stock. You could potentially be getting a pennant forming here. You put a little line there, and then don't have a lot of data points, but you could connect these two channels and make that your buy line. So if this turns out to be a flag and busts about here, could be a potential buy if that's something you're into. I know a lot of people are probably mad at me for lumber liquidators, so let's take a look at it. Actually, don't look too bad. I know I was telling you guys about this big support line right here, because you had old resistance now became support, so we could potentially see this still as a play. And you had this downtrend right here, break out and test it, and it's still above that. So this, if you're in the January calls for this, I think you're going to be okay. Let's zoom out here. I had a potential target here of $30 by their next earnings, and that looks pretty intact. So if you're in the January calls for the 30 or 35s and earnings happens, I want to show you something really awesome about this if you guys are in this. So I know I pointed this out in one of my videos. So if we're okay, so this move right here, let's not worry about this move. I know this is crazy right here, but let's talk about most recently. So if you were to take this right here from top to bottom, I believe it equals right there. Yep, top to bottom. And then this right here is kind of what we're seeing right here. And then the earnings right here, this is earnings right here. And this is when it burst up to $38, $40. And that's what we're going to be looking for. So if you have the January calls, this November is going to be nice, and you could play the run up here. So yeah, I think the January calls are going to be great. I know I mentioned the October calls in my video. I think those may be a dud, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's been getting killed by that tariff news lately. So what we need is hurricane news, and we need to continue to get that housing news, and I think we're going to be okay there. What was another one? I am personally in Bank of America, so let's take a look at that. You're going to love this chart. So we have a couple things going on here. So you got double supports down here, and you have this coming down here through. I just used the base of the candles here, base through base, and because it touched 3 data points here, and so we have the end of the tip here happening. So we could get a. I like natural gas, by the way. I haven't looked at soybeans. So we have an up channel here meeting a downtrend, a weak downtrend, but it is important because you have seen some bounce stuff here. I want to zoom in. This is the daily, so let's go short term. All right. So here's what I love about it. So I was seeing a ton of flow in banks towards the end of the day. Flow is cat. So here's your buy line right here. So it's old support, now resistance, and we got a breakout towards the end of the day over that. And you also have a head here. Look at this. You could almost, if you could put a person in here, you would see their head and their shoulders right here. Can you guys see that? Head and shoulders. And that's what happened right here. You got the head, and you had kind of weak shoulders, but you know, you saw that go up. And that's kind of what's going on over here too. So you got your head and your shoulders. Yeah, I got 2 cats, a dog, a turtle, a wife, a kid. Wife's sick, that's why I'm doing this impromptu, because she went to bed early, so I was able to jump on and hang out with you guys and gals. So airlines look good today too. So if you guys are in Bank of America, I know I called that out, and I am definitely in bank. I'm in weekly Bank of America. I have the 26 strike, so I got them pretty cheap. And I didn't go heavy, I just got a small couple $100 in there, because I think 26 will get me about a 50 to 60% gainer. So I don't know, people love Boeing for some reason. I think it's because it used to be $400 and they're like, oh, it's totally going back there. Yeah, look at this, it's totally gonna get back there, right? Okay, well, they're not gonna make a lot of money for a long time, so yeah, I mean, Boeing at one point was $450. So I marked this out. I'm not a huge Elliott wave guy. I know ATM is, but this is ER, so I thought maybe this would get back there by ER. I didn't actually use the whole Fibonacci retracements. You know, you got your basically you have small or longer and longer time frames that it plays out. So it does. I mean, the chart does look pretty decent, and if we get the news on the max, it definitely could. What I'm looking at though is what I want it to do is break over this red line. I'm actually going to turn that into a buy line. So I'm not getting in. I think what it'll do is it'll play out this uptrend line, and you might see some wishy-washy action in here, and then maybe towards the end of September in here we'll get the FAA news, and then you might see a breakout up here. And so you're going to have some resistance up here. You can see that already if you guys are looking. You got triple point data here, quadruple. Look at all these resistance lines right here. So I didn't mean to do that. So you got a lot. I mean, it's not going to just go straight up like it did. Now you have a lot of resistance. See here, you had gaps that were being filled back from when it sold off. But I don't know. I'm just not a huge Boeing guy. I do like my favorite airline in terms of just fundamentals and everything is Love. And if you look at here, I don't even have to draw anything. You can just see this. Look at this beautiful bullish flag here, pull into this cup. Look at, you can just see it's doing it perfectly. And it even has an uptrend line right here too. So you might get a little bit of pullback tomorrow, but I am pretty sure this is going to go back up above 42 and eventually get back up in the 58 area. So watch for this. I mean, you even have a head here and shoulder and shoulders. So I mean, everything looks good about Love. This is Southwest Airlines. So I mean, I'm sure all of the big airlines look very similar. Yeah. So this one isn't as good as Southwest Airlines, but I know United is a decent one, and I know Delta is the other big one that's pretty good. Delta and Southwest are the most favored by investors because they have the best outlook long term. They have the best financials set up. They're not in any risk of going bankrupt. So if you look at American Airlines, you'll see here there's not as much love by investors. It has a lot of upside, sure. I mean, $30, $31. I mean, even if you zoomed out, you know, American Airlines was in the 40s at one point. What? No, don't want to leave site. Oh, look at that. You can see American has gone through this before, and they bounced back, but this was back in 2000, you know, the mid 2000s. So we'll see what happens. They might be okay, but I'm not going in on American Airlines. I actually love Save. I don't know why. They've always seemed to do okay. They're not getting the love that I thought they would, but I did chart it out pretty extensively. Probably looks like a spider web to you guys and gals. But what we saw here, you know, we got the same thing where we got the middle of what potentially could be a cup, and that probably looks crazy to everyone. But hopefully we got some bullish action here. This was the one that I picked in my video for highest upside. There is risk involved with it, obviously, but I do think there is some investor love for it coming up here in the future. Ooh, let's look at Intel. I am really heavy in Intel right now. I am deep in the money, few week out calls, because I made a lot of money on it and I didn't want to throw it away, so I wanted to keep playing. I don't know what I just did there. I wanted to keep playing it, so I took some deep in the money, couple week out calls so that I could carry it overnight. I think Jet Sleeps would be okay. Jets is the ETF for airlines. Yeah, I didn't love this at the end of the night, if I'm being honest with you. So look at this today. We had this was our pennant forming today. If you bought here, we had a double top here. So what we do here is we just make a horizontal ray at the top. So if it gets over the 52.68 tomorrow, we are good to go. We don't need these lines anymore, so let's clean this up. And let's see if we can figure out what's going to happen tomorrow. Broke through that. Save is Spirit Airlines. Might be. Let me see here. I don't see anything wonderful. I think it did after hours. I think it was it closed at 52.31. And I believe after hours it's at like 52.50 or something like that. Yeah, SLV leaps aren't bad. I'm sure right now IV, you can see this giant sell-off at the end of the day, but again, I think that's just because it ran so hard. People got to take profits, and people taking profits at the end of the day is not necessarily a bad thing. We are still clearly in an uptrend, and if you look here, I talked about, when I was talking about Intel updates, about a U-shaped recovery, where you have a U-shaped recovery. So you could see Intel go real nuts this month if people are bullish on. If we get a bunch of updates tomorrow, and people are really receptive to the Tiger Lake specs that we saw today, I definitely think Intel could be doing good. Yeah, here's what happened for me today. So, I had 52 calls that I started selling right about here as it started to slow down. So I had 25 of them, and I sold 5, I sold 5, I sold 5, and then as soon as it reversed, I sold the rest right here. And then as soon as it broke right here, I bought back in right here in the deep in the money calls, and I didn't sell any of them. I actually still have those. Handle? You think it's in a cup? I don't see a cup right now. Let's see, what other tickers people shouting out? I just did Apple, actually. I posted a chart on it. We could take a look at that. Why didn't it save though? Alright, so that's annoying. We'll do it again. So Apple, you got some support down here. You got potentially a channel right here that we could see a breakout on. Hit the tech sell-off right here. So look to see if Apple rebounds over here. I saw a lot of call flow coming into Apple at the end of the day, so that was one of the reasons I put it on my watch list. Yeah, AMD. I was trying to tell Danny when he was on live, it looks really good. I mean, it's got some old lines here. I'm just gonna draw this for you guys. I mean, you can see a textbook cup and handle. You're gonna see a bullish flagpole into a parabolic cup, and then you're gonna see some sideways action down. And here's how you know usually you got a cup and handle. So typically you got about a 33% retracement, and it's gonna bounce off old. So you got old right here, the old resistances, and now it's gonna turn into support. So if you zoom in here, you can, I probably just didn't have this right, but you can see it's bouncing off this old resistance. So this is a tilted cup and handle. It's not the traditional flat across. You got a tilted cup and handle that's going upwards. And so you have the retracement down here, and then you have some bouncing off of it. You have the breakout, and you have the retracement here. And you could even zoom in farther here. Enhance. Enhance. So you can see you kind of got a pennant forming here. So just wait for the confirmation here before you go in. And if you get a breakout above this line right here tomorrow, you could see it run back up to the 95, even 100 area. And here's typically what I've noticed with cups. So let's say you have the bottom of the cup here, 79, the top of the cup here. So if you were to draw a line across here, so let's do that. So here's the top here. So if we took the middle of it, you're at 90 and you're at 80. You can take the 90 minus 80, so 11 bucks. So you can see potentially an $11 upside here to about $101. So if we were to try to figure out what that would be, you could see maybe it hits up here potentially. And look at this. I mean, you could see it potentially going right here, hitting the uptrend, breaking over resistance, and then your target here I was saying about 101. We can do a vertical line at 101 to see what that date would be. Let's go right there. So, why does it not tell me the date? That's annoying. There we go, September 14th. So maybe you could design a play around that. Maybe go, I think it's like the September 16th date. If you wanted to get like some 90 calls for September 16th, you'd have some good upside there. Why do you guys love playing Docusign for ER? Everyone loves ERs. Docusign, I like Docusign, don't get me wrong, but it's risky. There's just so many safer plays out there. Feels like gambling and chasing to me. I'll chart it for you because I'm bored. I'm sure you guys want to know the short term, what's going on. Baba, Las Vegas. So, you got some support here. And you got, actually, check this out. I'm just going to do a ray across here. So, you got basically big resistance right here. So, Baba breaks over this tomorrow. You could see it go back up to the 290, 300, or Docusign, not Baba. So, yeah, you could see it has some room to run if it breaks over here and ER is good. It can definitely run up here tomorrow to the 290 area. So, Baba. Okay. Actually, before we go to Baba, let's see if Dixie. I just want to check in here because I talked about we could watch this live happen. Looks like Dixie is looking to try going up again. That's an all right. Silver's still doing okay. All right, let's take a look at Baba. So you have potentially a rudimentary cup right here, kind of curling back up. I haven't done Facebook and Microsoft yet. Let me zoom out here. This is a pretty short time frame. So, I've been following Baba for a while. I haven't been playing it lately. It just feels like chasing to me right now, even though I know they got some good news. So, Counter-Strike. Oh, I got a raise here. That looks good. I'm going to make that purple because I'm not sure if it's support or resistance right now. So basically, you kind of got a sideways cup here again. You got the up handle here. You got it curling back up. You could see potentially... Could see it hit right here and then bounce back down to here and then maybe take off. I'm not going to play it, but I know a lot of the experienced traders love Baba right now. I know Rambo's like super obsessed with it, so let me do Facebook. I was seeing a lot of call flow for Facebook today. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a nice looking chart right there. Facebook's been super... Dude, check this. Oh my god, it's... I called this too. Oh, I charted it right here. I haven't looked back at the chart since then. And look at how this played out. So, I called it right here that it was going to come back up and hit right here. And it almost hit to a T. That's fucking awesome. Excuse my French. Alright, so... Yeah, you got basically... We're going to call this a potential cup here as well. So... target right here, and this would be about your 30% right here. So we're going to go across there like that. And so what we're probably going to see is it maybe test here tomorrow and then bounce back down and then potentially go up after that. So call flow wise, you could see 304, 305 tomorrow, and then I would think Friday we sell off into the weekend, and then next week maybe we get back into it. Microsoft. Man, tech is just, it all looks so similar. Are we going to see tech fly tomorrow and then sell off Friday? That could definitely happen. I think data tomorrow is going to be big. I don't know if you guys have seen this. We got a lot of data tomorrow, and I think it's going to be some big numbers. So we got jobless claims in the morning. We have trade balance. We have exports and imports from Canada, exports and imports from the United States. Overnight, we have all of the European PMIs. So Spanish, China, as Trump would say. So we got a lot of things going on tomorrow that are going to affect the dollar. I mean, we got non-manufacturing PMI. And if you guys want to do this, just go to investing.com/economic.calendar. And if you don't know what these are, just click on them. They'll have descriptions, and you can read the descriptions. It'll tell you basically what it is, and then what you can expect the results to influence. So it's kind of cool that you can see that. So keep an eye out for this stuff tomorrow. Oh, let's see here. So back to Microsoft. Microsoft actually doesn't look like a cup actually. It looks like it's actually flagging again. Could potentially be a rising wedge, which would be bearish. So basically, here's how I like to describe rising wedges. It's like a plane going vertical, or it's doing all of its gas to get to the top, and then it hits that point where it can't go anymore, and then it starts to fall back down. So it goes into a free fall. So you basically have a plane taking off, and then it's going to hit here where it hits the ozone layer, and then it's going to come back down. That's what a rising wedge, I think, is a good description of it. And that's why we call it a bearish signal. Also, I'm drinking a limoncello sparkling water. This is one of the weirdest sparkling waters I've ever had. It's like a lemon vanilla sparkling water. It tastes like you're drinking like a piece of cake. I'm not a big Dix guy. I'm not super. A lot of the other experienced traders look at the dark pool indicator. I haven't really studied it super hard, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, a turmeric drink. What else we want to look at? You just want to look for some plays, go through some charts on my watch list, and check this out. I want to show you guys Go-Go. I've been watching this for like 4 freaking years, waiting for it to short squeeze, and I freaking missed it. I'm so mad. I've literally been watching this for years. Look at this. I've been waiting because this is one of the heaviest shorted stocks in the stock market. And so now we have all this short covering, all these shorts covering. Dude, this thing could go to like 50. I really think it could. I don't. No one's talking about it. That's what's crazy. You can see. I mean, it just keeps flagging. And we have a bull flag right now. I'm drinking a LaCroix. Fastly. I gotta check my phone. I'm getting some text messages. Oh, my daughter fell asleep with her legs through the crib. My wife just sent me a picture. Alright, so yeah, Go-Go is fun. I like that. IQ is kind of fun. check this out. IQ looking to test, oh, that's a head and shoulders. Never mind. Let's not look at that. Let's just pretend I didn't look at that. Look at banks right now. You got your pennant, breakout. Your pennant, breakout. Like, I think banks are going to fly if we get good data tomorrow. Walmart. I could look at Walmart. I need to save these things. Walmart was on my watch list too because it got a lot of call flow at the end of the day. I think people are expecting TikTok news. Looks very similar to Microsoft actually, which makes sense because they've been kind of trading in tandem right now with the Microsoft thing looming or the TikTok thing looming. I'm gonna do a ray across here. Nothing like, no great points here. I mean, you could do this actually. Let's see what goes up here. That's not bad. A shift pitchfork. Oh, this thingy. That's I don't know what a shift. I don't. I try to keep it simple. I don't need to know what a Gone square is or a Gone fan or all these things. Like, that's for people way above my pay grade. So yeah, you can see, you know, so Oreos. I don't know anything about Oreos. I do think they're delicious though. So they have earnings, don't they? Yeah, they had earnings. I thought I saw them on the calendar. That actually don't look too bad even. I didn't look into what they did. I just saw them on the calendar. I don't know a lot about them. But you could definitely see. This actually looks like an actual flag, not a pennant. So what you're looking at here would be probably a break above 1660. Thomas, which ticker are you referring to? Are you referring to this one? Okay, so if you want to know if it broke above where it could go to, I mean, you could definitely see it potentially going up here, maybe. This is one of the reasons I like to use Heiken Ashi candles, is because you can kind of see, as soon as it turns from green, so you see this bull run right here, as soon as it turns green to red, this would be your sell signal right here. So these are momentum candles. So as soon as momentum turns bearish, that would be one of the ways you could sell. So sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then potentially you got a doji here where it can't decide if it wants to go up or down. You got 4 of them in a row basically. This is your hammer, 3 dojis, and then potentially could go up here. So, I mean, if you look at just regular candles, it doesn't look that much different, but then you're seeing all these colors are different. So if you switch between, see, this is actually a red candle for, even though it was a bullish move, it's a red candle because it went down after. But if you went with Heiken Ashis, you'll see all of these are green because they all go up. But the one thing that you don't get with Heiken Ashis that you do get is you get these gaps. So you can't see these gaps. You can't see those gaps. You don't get those with the Heiken Ashi. So that's the one drawback, is you don't see the gaps with the Heiken Ashis. But I think they look nicer, and I think charting is easier for me when I use them. So that is why I personally use them, and I think it's easier to enter trades and exit trades with them as opposed to regular candles. And that's just my personal preference. You can use whatever you want, but that's my personal preference. So mean, if you're looking at a gap, let's see, I think Intel had a pretty decent gap. Let's look at them. So if we were to switch to just regular candles, Eagle. Look at that gap. This is why we've been talking about it. So we are in the gap right now, and we could see a potential run back up to here to 60. And so you can see there is a giant gap right here. So this was when I made my Intel video earlier this year. These gray lines were potential price targets, and it's actually following my highest price target. So that is actually pretty sweet. So we could see by next earnings it all the way back up to 64. If it follows this, we could always get a potential break back down. So let's go see if the dollar is cooperating. Uh-oh. Don't like that. Do like that though. So had a attempt to go over the downtrend, and it looks like it got rejected. So I have a feeling it's going to kind of walk this all night until we get the data. Let's see if silver reacted to the dollar. Yeah, silver kind of sold off, but I mean, silver still looks okay. And just because the dollar, it doesn't always mirror the dollar. Silver can go up with the dollar going up too, but it just tends to go down when the dollar goes up. So keep that in mind. Price targets? I mean, price targets are tricky because you're basically just guessing. I mean, it's like an educated guess. So you're like, all right, where am I going to go? I try to look at past movements that are similar. That's a good one for me. So, like for the Facebook one, I'll show you how I did that because I was pretty accurate with that one. So if it's a cup and you're trying to predict the bottom here, you're basically, what I did was I did a high to low. So high to low. And then what I did was took this line, cloned it. I don't know if there's an easier way to do this, but and then I drew this line here, and then I could draw. So you have the high candle here, clone the line so you know where the end of it is, and then you draw that up there to that point, that intersection there, and that's your cup right there. So if you see a potential cup here, that's how I did that one. And then your price target would have been 278 from a low of 260. I don't actually need that one. MDLZ. It's got weird tickers. Oh, that's not. I know what that is. That's a grocery store. Isn't it? Isn't it a grocery store? I don't use Fibonacci lines. Not opposed to using them. I just like to try to find setups. You know, for me, it's just Oreos maker. Yeah, they make their food. Yeah. So for me, like, I'm just trying to find patterns that I like. So pennants and cups and handles and flags, and I put my buy lines and my sell lines, and then I just go in when they match up, you know. So you got your trading channels here, and when you get your breakouts you buy, and when you get your fake outs then you don't buy. So like this would have been a potential channel here. So other ways to play channels, so for instance, let's say you get a channel here that's pretty clear. You sell, or you buy in here, you sell here, you buy in here, you sell here. So channels are really easy to trade in as well. So that is something nice about finding channels. So you could also, these aren't super great, you got more data points here. So this is a wider channel, and then you would have a inner channel as well. Sometimes channels have channels in channels. Say that 10 times real fast. I hate Peloton. I will never play Peloton. I think it's a trash stock with trash products. But let's chart it for fun. I get that Peloton's getting good price action, and I shouldn't just not play something because I hate the stock. But there's plenty of other stocks to play, so I will not play Peloton. We get a pretty solid channel there. Kroger, of course I can do Kroger. I like Kroger. I wouldn't love well, you could potentially have a pennant here. We'll chart that out real quick here. But this is why it's important to let's actually change these colors. So you got to break above here. And I could, you could see it jump up here again, but you're in a pretty defined channel. Google. Yeah, can you tell I like Kroger? Oh man, it is testing all-time highs here. Look at that. Or not all-time high, but recent high. Kroger's been much higher before. If we zoom out, you'll see. Yeah. Let's actually throw a ray across there. So Kroger broke this downtrend and is clearly in an uptrend now. Sin stocks? You talking about like Altria or stocks that you capitalize on the downfall of others, like DraftKings, Amazon? So yeah, look for Kroger to test this 3686 coming up here. I could definitely see that happening. Kroger's gotten Warren Buffett's been investing like mad in Kroger because Kroger is, it's a grocery store, but it's also a real estate company because they own some of the best real estate in the world, believe it or not. That's one of the main reasons why Warren Buffett invested in Kroger, is because even if their grocery stores fail, they will always be worth something because they have some of the best real estate they own in the world. All prime locations, big chunks of land. So something to consider that you probably might not have. Yeah, look for it to test this right here and potentially break out here, and then look for it to test the 3686. Amazon's just so dumb. Yeah, I got a funny story about Amazon. I lost 100K on Amazon because I sold right. Where's it? I sold right here because I'm a dummy. The next day it went up $100. So I had $4,000 worth of Amazon right here, and this was the day before Christmas. I didn't want to hold over Christmas, and I was like, I'm gonna take a $200 loss. And then the day after Christmas, it went up $100, and I would have made $100,000. So that's my Amazon story. I did airline charting earlier. I can go over it again for you. Is there a specific airline you wanted to see? Yeah, Amazon's just following this line up right now. So, I mean, you can... Oops. You can see Amazon's just kind of in a channel right here. It's almost in a rising wedge. Yeah, I don't love that, but you do see a pennant here. It could be either or. So what I would say is, yeah, Kroger will kill earnings. Trust me, their earnings is going to be amazeballs, and it's probably going to sell off like it did last time for some reason, because I played last Kroger earnings and it had an amazing earnings and earnings call, but because they wouldn't give guidance, the stock sold off. So be careful with that. They might give guidance this time. So yeah, I'd look for to test this tomorrow and see if it can break out to 35.60 again. I don't. It's not. I mean, the Amazon story with. I didn't lose 100K. I just didn't make 100K. So I don't get upset or don't feel bad for me. It would have been nice, but I didn't. It's not like I lost 100K. I just didn't make 100K. Yeah, United. You can see I don't have it charted, but I don't need to even chart this. You can see it's clearly in a trying to form a cup here. So we just need some more news, and United's going to be fine. Should test 40 here again in the future. So let me show you something that I did. So I'll give you a price target and date here, so you can do this yourself. So top to bottom, when you could see a cup forming like this, top to bottom, clone it. Here, do this. So get a vertical line on your top to bottom, clone it, put that right there, vertical line, clone it, trend line. So if it follows the pattern, you're going to see a big gap up in airlines here by September 20th. So over the next 2.5 weeks, you could see airlines go nuts if it follows. Let's find out. You got some resistance lines up here, so just be careful. If it broke out over this line right here, I would be very bullish on it. And so if we test this, you could see it jump up, you know, $3-4 in a day or two. You know, AYX, I looked at that today because I saw some giant call sweeps come through for it, and I was not, I actually thought it looked pretty good. I looked back on AYX and I saw that it's done this a couple times where it sells off and then comes running back, sells off, comes running back. So you definitely see this coming back up. I don't even really, and you can kind of even see it made this cup right here, and it's at the top right now. So if we zoom in, you can see cup. So you could see it probably retest about right here, come down to about 120, and then it could skyrocket up to like the 150s, 160s. Yeah, Amazon Prime Day is typically bullish for Amazon. I'm gonna do this a couple more minutes, and then I'm probably gonna get off. But if you guys got something you want to see, oh, I can't believe I have this charted. I don't even remember charting this. This is one of your gambling stocks. I did Docusign. Where you been? Yeah, I'm not, it seems like chasing right now. I don't see anything definitive. Maybe you got a pennant right here. Could actually turn into being a flag. We'll see. I don't love crowd either. It's like a zoom to me. It's just like overvalued, gonna eventually crash. But for the short term, I mean, you're still in an uptrend, I suppose. Yeah, I don't love anything on that side. So, I mean, it's just kind of doing this. We'll see what it does tomorrow. Oh yeah, WI. I do like lumber here, so I know I've been talking about lumber. Ooh, that is a, yeah, that looks nice. You can see why. So, I don't know if you guys see this, but you got a clear wedge break here. You can see I've charted this before, and basically what you're dealing with right now is a potential flag or wedge or whatever you want to call it. But so it actually, if you're thinking this is a pennant, then you had a breakout today here. I actually like these data points better because there's more of them. So you could have had a potential breakout today. Otherwise, this could also be a flag, which would have been something like this. So make sure it breaks out above here. As soon as it gets above basically 30.90, you should see it start to go back up even more. I think I looked at Netflix got some flow today. Oh, look at that. I have Netflix sort of charted. Oh, yeah, that's why I like Netflix today. That is why. So you have a cup handle right here, and Netflix may fly. If it is, always wait for confirmation, remember, so. I don't even know why I had those here. Let me get rid of those. Oh, I remember why. So someone had me look at backtest their play, and they're like, "Why did I lose money on Netflix? They bought right here, and then panic sold right here. If they would have held it, they would have made so much money." That's why I had those lines there. But yeah, you could see, the curling here. Theoretically, I mean, if you're doing just a normal cup, this isn't actually the top of it. This would actually be the top of it, like right over here. So it could potentially go down again, and what you would see it go down to is like right here. So this would be your, this would be your top up here. And then this would be your new support that you're looking at. And so basically you could see it test up towards the 560s and then maybe come back down to 546. Rambo was telling me about Costco getting data today. Yeah, I think it sold off on the data at the end of the day. Something, I can't remember what data he said, but I mean, you kind of see it curling up here and then coming down. So I'll be curious to see what that does tomorrow. I don't see any A+ setups or any like great formations there, but Google, yeah, I'll do Google for you. Don't worry. So look at this. You got a pennant here with a break, and then it kind of looks like you got a head forming. Look at this. Here, watch this. I'm gonna do something funny. I am Batman. I think it's Batman. So then you got your shoulder and potential shoulder right here. So watch out here. If it breaks this downtrend, then if it breaks over here, then you could see it going back up here and potentially testing the 200 again. So I'm not a big team guy, but I know it's one of those tech stocks that people like. So Google. That's the Batman pattern. Yeah, I saw Google today, and I thought about it. I almost bought right here. I was gonna buy 1,700 calls, and I kicked myself for not doing it because they were $3 right here for the week, and they would be $35 ish right now. You would have had at least 1,000%er. Can't believe I did. It's clearly textbook flag. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I think it's just because I've been screwed over by Google so much that I get gun shy. And look at that. That's textbook bull flag. It's just it's textbook. Triple point, test, breakout, super run. And you had this like I guess you got this cup right here with the handle. Textbook Batman pattern. Yep. And then even at the end of the day, even if we enhance here, you can see it. You got some profit taking here at the end of the day, and it just got bought right back up. So I have a feeling, and this is just a hunch. You know how we talked about Tesla wanting 2,000. I wouldn't be surprised if Google tested for 2,000. You could see it coming up here and catching up to its old, and probably, let's do something. We could probably just try to set a price target for 2,000 here. That might be fun. Look at this all-time Google chart. It has stayed in here This is the first time it ever broke above this trend line. That is nuts. So it is going parabolic 100%. Let's clean some of this up. So when is it gonna hit 2,000? That would be if it continues up this trend line. And you're looking at, if it continues to go nuts, it could hit 2,000 by its next earnings would be a good date. So if you pick the October 16th 2000 calls, that would be a great lotto play. Good buy point. Like anytime it seems like with how it's going lately. Look at this. It's been green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's been green for 3.5 weeks in a row. Not one red day. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't mind doing this. It's fun. So if this is a pennant right here, I would say your buy point tomorrow is if it gets over this line. I mean, 1730. If it's over that to start tomorrow, might be a good entry. Look at this volume at the end of the day. I know Oracle has been in talks with TikTok. I have been watching Oracle. Oracle is one of those stocks that doesn't move very fast. Crowd is just an overvalued tech stock that sold off with other overvalued tech stocks. So they move in unison, and I would not play it. I mean, when you guys are just buying stuff because everyone else is buying it, there's no reason to do that. Do your homework and do your charting and look for the setups. I mean, look at this. Look for these pennants, and then when it breaks the pennant, buy right here, and then when it starts to round, sell, and you can always buy in later. But that's what you're looking for. You don't have to have like, oh, I think it's going to hit 58. Here's the easiest way to take your I can show you this. There's multiple examples here. So you got basically, actually, I mean, you could have even done this. So you got these 3 data points here that you're connecting through, and you got the data points down here that you're connecting through. So you got your potential pennant here. You buy right here, and then as soon as it starts to round and you start getting these dojis, and if it doesn't form any identifiable pattern here, so even on the 1 minute, you could see it's potentially making a flag here, but then it broke below the flag, and you would have just sold right here easily. I mean, you could have just sold right here and then wait for a breakout, and then if it's forming another pattern here, sell here, and then if it breaks above here, you can always buy back in. If you don't have the day trades, I understand that. It can be tough. So, I mean, you could always have sold a call above your strike here to take the profits, and then just bought another call right here, and that way you're not taking any day trades. So that would be if it broke out above here. What are those tickers? Shoe? There are so many. Madden. Ugh. Alright, I can see it almost looks like, it's wide base, up and down, up and down, up and down. Kind of looks like a rising wedge. I have a feeling it's going to run out of steam soon. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, I would not, I don't like that a lot. I don't like it a lot. could also have some data points here. I don't know. Nothing A plus just jumping out at me, if I'm being honest with you there. We'll go through some of these real quick. Just waiting for my laundry to get done, and then I'm going to peace out. Hecla mining, yeah. I like miners in general. I like the physical back ETFs. There's so many gold companies. I mean, you can see it's making the same formation that all the other gold and silver stocks are making. So it's just consolidating, and then as soon as we get up here, it's going to break out. I looked at American Airlines earlier, but we will do it again, because I will show you why I don't like American Airlines. So American Airlines is not following the other airlines, and it's not curling up as much as the other airlines. So like if you saw Southwest, you'll see a lot of investors buying back into Southwest. It's curling back up. American Airlines is going flat. American Airlines is in extreme risk of going bankrupt, so be careful on that. And you can even see Delta curling back up, United curling back up. So that would be something to consider. What am I doing here? Oh, that's like a smaller one that I was looking at. I think I did that wrong. Let me try this again. So this one doesn't have, this will be kind of the middle of the cup. So you could have a potential target for United getting back to 48 around the end of September. You're not limited to one request. That's fine. When did I say that? I'm just saying I I looked at the chart a couple times now. Let's go back and check out what Dixie and Dollar is doing. Yeah, they might. I have a feeling. I don't know if any. I don't even know if they're valuable for people buying them out because they have so much debt. I don't think another airline's going to buy them. And a lot of airlines aren't even in place. So we got our Dixie breaking above the downtrend line, so that could spell bad for silver, if I'm being honest with you. But there's a lot of economic indicators here, so that might not matter tomorrow if we get the right data. This is one thing that you'll learn about the dollar and silver, in that is while you can chart all you want on it, charts typically don't matter. Technical analysis does not matter as much on the dollar and silver because of everything that can affect it. So yeah, I don't know. TikTok I think is priced into anything right now. I don't think I think you might get people selling because it might, there's so many things that could affect the TikTok deal if they don't like the price target. Investors don't like the price target. So like say they think that it's going to be bought for 20 billion and then a company buys it for 30 billion, that could actually cause that company to sell off because investors don't like it. Yeah, I'm doing SQ right now. SQ's retarded. I really liked SQ at $40. I don't love it at $170. I think it's extremely overvalued for a company that barely makes money. But fundamentals don't matter right now. Let's just enjoy the ride, right? So look for it to keep bouncing off this line, and if it bounces again off that, that would be a potential buy. Doesn't have any A+ setups, as Ace would call them. You do have bounce off old resistance, which is nice, so this could potentially keep going. I have a feeling it's going to try to get to 200 just for that mental number eventually. I don't have a prediction on silver price. I mean, I still think it's going to get to 45 by the end of the year. I don't have a prediction on what price it'll get to this week because I don't know what the data is going to look like tomorrow. No problem, Thomas. You have a great night. Tom's a good name, by the way. Do you, Roku? Amazing. I charted this out right here, by the way. I said, you might even remember in the chat, I said it's going to go test down here, and then it'll bounce back up. So that is still on track. Yeah, that's. I'm going to share this with the group actually. That is a. I think that might do it for me. You guys got one last request for anything? I think my voice is getting a little cracky. I'm getting a little tired. SQ. Let me take a look. That might actually be the case if it's running out of steam. No, I don't really see it as a rising wedge. Not yet. I mean, you still check this out. You still got this channel right here. So potentially a rising wedge, but I mean, like I said, if it follows this channel, you could still see it testing 190, 200 area. Oil? You want an oil stock or you want actual oil pricing? Yeah, this could be forming a cup too. See, this is like airlines though. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's all the heavy hit COVID stocks that are curling back up now. You want like Chevron? I've been talking about Chevron. So this is something that I charted out and it's not been cooperating. So we will see what happens here. I really want it to bounce back up here before I'm getting in. I don't think it's the best entry point yet. So let's see if it can bounce off of here. If it breaks down below here, I'm not going in on this idea. It was a out of the box idea I made a video on, and you want to do your own entries. Don't just blind follow me into stuff. You know, I'm trying to point stuff out for you guys to watch basically. So I was hoping by their next earnings they're going to be back over 100. I use every time frame. Anything I'm looking at depends on how long you're looking. You know, I start with an hour day. You know, start with the day out and see what patterns you have, and then zoom in more, and you can kind of see what kind of plays you're looking for. All right, last one. MC. Oh, H. Another cruise line. Yeah, same thing as CCL. Looks identical. Look at this. Watch this. We'll look at Carnival. Can't even tell the difference. Can't even tell the difference. Visa. I love Visa. I talked about Visa when it was 195, because if you go to zoom out on Visa, look at this uptrend line that I drew a long time ago. So you can see this uptrend line. You can see this clear flag here, and then the clean breakout. And then it also broke above all-time high, so I think Visa's gonna keep going. I think it's gonna test 240, 250. Top watch tomorrow. I posted in the swing plays I'm looking at. GM. GM's got this crazy thing going on right now. If we zoom in, it kind of looks amazing. So GM's got this cup and potential handle right here, and it broke out of this wedge, and they're getting a ton of call flow. Intel tomorrow, Bank of America, I think Microsoft, Facebook, Apple are the normal ones that I don't actually play those. I just keep them on watch for people and things like that. So we'll do do one last silver update, and then I'm going to jump off. You know, I love silver, but this is theoretically a bear flag because it's got a rising triple top, and I don't know. Silver's one of those ones where it just does the opposite of what it's supposed to do, though. So like you'll see like a bear flag, and then it'll just be like, I'm gonna rip off here and go flying. So that's because it's so affected by data and economic data and the dollar versus euro and things like that. So I do have silver calls. I have 25 and 26 calls, so I am hoping to see good data that'll support silver tomorrow. Mandeep, yeah, I did do Intel. I'll pull it up real quick, but then I'm definitely getting off. You can always I'll post this too. I'll keep it live. You can always go back and watch it and do that. So Intel, you got this rising wedge right here, and you got a double top and a sell-off, but it is going up after hours. I think sentiment's good, and if we look here, if I take off the Heiken Ashis, and you look at just regulars, look at the size of this gap. It is unbelievable. We are in the gap now, so I expect us to fill that gap 100%. All right, thank you guys and gals, and have a great night.